Hey guys, welcome back from Orlando, Florida. Today I've got a review of the 2016/17, no changes, Suzuki Boulevard M109R, their biggest, baddest muscle cruiser, and quite deservedly so of its reputation for just being a brutal but refined machine. I've ridden these before. Whew. That rear tire just kicked out a little bit. It is a huge, huge rear tire. Ugh. And these are forward pegs. I normally stand up a little bit going over these big speed bumps. Can't do it on this guy. It's a very V-Rod type seating position. This is just a huge, rumbling torque monster engine. Got a little bit of a shake here at idle and just gobs of torque. Don't even have to touch the throttle, just let the clutch out and it lunges forward. Just breathing on the throttle. Well, this is a new route. Everyone else is going a different way. That's cool. So, first impressions, really big and heavy, but low center of gravity. It's green, guys. Tons of shake when you give it a little gas. Now that little bit of a kick out alludes to what's in store if you give it the beans and aren't expecting it. I've got a big gear indicator right in front of me, kind of where you would expect the speedometer to be. I don't mind that. And it's surrounded by a big LCD tachometer. Now this is not just a cruiser. This is a muscle cruiser. This is made for somebody that wants to be seen, but when they want to go. They can do anything they want. It's not quite on par with, say, an XDiavel-S or a VMAX as far as straight line quarter mile speed, but it's darn close. It really is. Quite comfortable. The seating position is a big scooped out seat. It's plush. It's wide. I don't have any pressure points. It feels like a big sofa. Very wide tank. Extremely wide. I'm sitting here with my legs pretty much spread apart, sitting on the pegs, and they are right up against the tank. I mean, I'm relaxing my legs like I would be on highway pegs, and they're still touching the tank. That's how wide this thing is. It does suck down the fuel, and it does take premium. I have an odd looking speedometer. This is the most neon orange looking speedometer needle I have ever seen. It looks like something you see on a Barbie toy, like one of those electric Jeeps or something. Really sticks out as strange. It should be the same red as these, if anything, but it is a neon orange. It's weird. Just looks strange. Even the printing on the speedometer, it looks like a low-res sticker. Just, I don't know. Stands out. It's different than the lettering and the numbering up there on the other gauge pod. These bars are quite far forward, but they're comfortable. Because it's a forward control position and you do have pretty far forward bars, it's almost like, say, a Harley with mini ape hangers. That's how I feel, because I've got that spider web kind of sprayed out position going. It's comfortable when you're moving, when you have air pushing up against you. I don't know how long I could do the position on the freeway. I definitely prefer a more neutral position as far as the pegs go. They may have boards for this. Maybe that would be a little more comfortable. It's just not my personal style, but a lot of people love it. Now down here, we have two little, just plain old like digital clock-like LCD displays. We've got a odometer and a actual clock and a fuel gauge. Tripodometer 1 and 2, and that's it. Got our hazards, our lights, our blinkers, our horn. Big, cushy grips. These are nice, thick, cruiser-style grips. Clutch is cable actuated and on the light side, just this shy of neutral. Hazard, start and stop, and that's it. Very basic. This is just a big-ass motor in a big-ass frame. Pretty stiff suspension. Reminiscent of some of the Indians I've been riding lately. Almost feels like an air ride, but it's got a little bit more cush to it. It's hiding its weight well. It's a mix. The engine gives it a nice low weight, but this huge tank balances it back out. I can feel where the center of gravity is. It's higher than I would expect. Hello, State Trooper. He has been trying to get people all day. I'm not kidding. They've been there for hours, all day, since 9 this morning. That's full throttle in second. It's not a sport bike, but it's got the acceleration of a sport bike. It just goes. Let's go down into first. I want to check out its power band, because so far I'm not detecting it falling off. So far it is very flat. Definitely not a slipper clutch. I had quite a bit of chuff there. It's a shaft drive, and the transmission is very clunky, like an older Harley Davidson. Going into each gear, it's ka-chunk, ka-chunk. You can feel it. You can hear it. Let's go up into fifth gear, top gear. Quite a bit of V-twin vibration. But it goes. It's very smooth when you're just cruising, but when you give it gas, now I'm at 2,000 RPM here at just under 50 miles an hour. We're slowing down. I'll do a test when we take off again. Tons of torque. I want to see how low it likes to go. 1,000 RPM. Now they told me it likes to be above 3,500 RPM. So I will take their word for it. This guy does not know his signal's on, and he did not pay attention to all the hand signaling, and that's all right. He's just having a ball in his own little zone there. So where do I need to keep it? Shift it down pretty low to keep it where they say it's happiest. And it does smooth itself out. When you get below 3,000 RPM here, I'm in second gear at 30 miles an hour at 3,000 RPM. It's smooth. Hardly feel anything anywhere. Pegs, seat, bars, all nice and smooth. Let's go up into top. I'm not even touching the throttle, and it's accelerating. It wants to do like a good 30 miles an hour. Just idling. That's how much torque it's got. I was off throttle. So it doesn't really care. It goes 2,500 RPM. I'm in third gear. It's strange to be geared down this low and have the RPMs that low. This has some wide gearing. The ride is very compliant. It's soaking up all these little bumps, imperfections. But it's still got a nice stiffness to it. I'm not noticing nosedive. It feels very planted. It's staying exactly where I point it. The steering is actually pretty neutral. I expected it to be more like a chopper. It looks like it's got a huge rake, and it is more than a standard, but it's not riding like it. Man, when you hit it, it just pounds you. I was thinking of a line from Office Space. If you know what I'm talking about, it pounds you in the rear end when you give it a little gas. These pistons are just huge, and they just want to knock your teeth out from the torque and the hit. Let's goose it in second. It just wants to climb and climb. Okay, it does continue to build power to redline. So this is not just a low-end power plant. I am not feeling anywhere in this torque band where it won't accelerate. It has a lot of vibration below 3,500 RPM, but I'm not even minding it. It's not a high frequency vibration. It is simply a massive engine doing its work. It's nice. So you can lug it. It really doesn't care. And it still goes like stink. I'm at 2,400 RPM, 55 miles an hour in top gear. I'll roll on. And there's 65. I mean, it just goes. And you're there. That's what I like out of a bike. I love big displacement engines. I love gobs of torque, no matter where you are, so that you don't have to downshift if you don't want to. Now, I can downshift this. I can go down into third, 4,000 RPM, twice as fast. Go down into second, 5,000 RPM, a lot faster. So you can ride this however you want to. Exhaust sound, not bad. Very typical Japanese V-twin. It doesn't have any concussion. It sounds very mechanical. I think it's lacking a little character. There's no overrun, there's no pop. It's very smooth. Volume is decent, considering it's a stock pipe. And it gets a little bit louder with the same tone after you get on it. I think most people would be very happy with it for a stock sound. There's no drone. That's what I don't like about some loud exhausts, is when you're just cruising and you're not on the throttle. If you have a drone, it is going to annoy you after a certain amount of time.
You guys got a U-turn? U-turn? Okay, stop, just follow me.
Mirrors are okay. They do vibrate. To be expected though, it's a huge V-twin. But they are fairly clear. And the position is very good. I have just a little bit of elbow. Other than that, it is all normal sight picture. I absolutely love the torque off idle. Seriously, you don't have to touch the throttle. You just crack the clutch. Big old clunk into second. I could do without that. I do appreciate the newer style transmissions over the last few years where there's no clunk. It's just snick, snick, snick. I am a fan of that. I don't need the visceral feel every single time I shift a gear. I like to hear and feel the engine itself, not the transmission myself. There's a green sticker down there and I keep thinking I have my turn signals on. Said we're gonna do a U-turn somewhere up here. Not a clue where. This is a completely new route to me. Maybe he was winging it. Not sure. Traffic is getting pretty heavy though. This is pretty much it's not a bad ride, but this is the worst one we've done of today. I'm out here at AIM Expo if anyone's curious. I don't know when you guys are going to be watching these videos. Who knows how you found this particular one, but lots and lots and lots of bike reviews going on right now. Temperature is not bad. I am not feeling anything. It's a huge exhaust pipe right here under my leg. That whole curvy Q section is pipe with a guard around it. It's staying nice and cool, surprisingly. Got engine right under my nuts. I can hear it, I can feel it, but it's not cooking me. So I dig that. And it's hot out today. It's just about 90 degrees. And I've been on some other bikes today that I've felt it. And they were a lot smaller engine than this. Low speed handling is very good. I think it's a combination of a relatively low center of gravity and a heavy bike helping it out there, and the huge rear tire. I believe this is the biggest stock of any bike in production. It might be a tie for one, but it is definitely on the large side. Now, I'm not going to say it feels light, but it's very controllable. You don't have to think about it. It is taller than it looks. The wide seat does take up some of your room from what would be normal inseam height. It's not going to be for someone that's, say, 5'2". Turn-in's very good. I don't know if I have the utmost in confidence with that huge rear tire doing really fast cornering. I feel the same way on the VMAX. That tends to push out, and that rear tire just, I don't know, it just doesn't feel like it's gripping the corners like some other bikes. But it's not bad. It's got a nice sound to it, just putzing down the road. I wish it had something more when you got on it, though. It just sounds mechanical. That's the best I can describe it. The whole thing raises up. This has quite a lot of shaft jack. If you don't know what shaft jack is, if you have a shaft drive bike, some designs have a tendency to raise up the suspension from leverage when you give it throttle. And that's from the shaft drive, which is two gears meeting at 90 degrees, torquing. Another cop in the weeds. They are out today. And it literally torques up the rear wheel, and the whole bike just rises up. If you're familiar with an 80s Supra Turbo, same thing. Look up videos of that. When it gets on it, it just goes, wow, goes. Well, this thing does it too, but it's not just the rear. The front end picks up too. So the whole bike just raises up a good inch or two when you get on it. It's a weird feeling. Most manufacturers have designed that out. Yamahas don't have it, BMWs don't have it. I think this is just an old school design, and they just said, you know what? Screw it, let's just design a huge monster engine and put it in a basic bike, give it a decent price, and see what happens. It's a popular bike. Very controllable power. That's what I like about linear engines. I'm at 4,000 RPM here in second. And it's just like cruising in top gear. It's perfectly smooth, glass smooth. You can just give it gas and go. 50. 60. The thing just rips. Love it. Alright, so there you go, guys. Another shorter review, but you know what? When the bikes are basic, there's not a whole lot to talk about. It is what it is. If you're in the market for one of these, I think you already know you are, if you know what I mean. This has been the 2016/17 Suzuki M109R. Okay. Thanks for watching. If this video sucked, give me a thumbs down. But if you enjoyed it, I'd appreciate a thumbs up. Subscribe to see more. We'll see you next time.